So now I'm ready to go and add more circles to my yin yang. And you can see that it's giving me some information here. And it says, you've got too many variables. You need to tell me what R and A and B are. So that's where I'm going to use my sliders again. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to try and get these two little circles right here. And so again, notice that they are oriented or placed or positioned right above and right below the 0. So we're going to want to make A 0, and we're going to want to make B 0. But we definitely want it smaller than what it is now. And so we're going to look at R, and you can do this several different ways. You can just try something out. So let's say, what if R is 2? Well, that's not small enough. What if R is 1? Still doesn't look small enough. What if R is 1/2? Oh, now that's getting more to where it's about the size right here. So if I want to see if it's exactly the right size, this is the y-axis. I want to move it up or down. So the letter that is associated with my y-axis is B. So I'm going to get my slider and I'm going to move it up, and I'm going to try, and it's a little too small, isn't it? So let's make a fraction that is a little bigger than 1/2. So let's say 1/3, or excuse me, 2/3. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see if I can bring it down a little farther on my, and this is a little tricky. Notice I'm at 2 3/10. Let's try 2 35/100. Could try 2 36. That's pretty darn good. The other thing you can do up here for R is, if you don't like fractions, and many of us don't, you can try the decimal equivalents. And it looked pretty good right at 0 6/10. So if I like this size, which I really do, I want to then go back up to my equation and put in those values that represent the R and the A. I have A at 0 because remember, I want it to be right above where X is 0. And my B, however, was 2 36/100. Now, your values don't have to be exactly what mine are. Your circle right here could be a little bit larger or a little bit smaller, but I happen to like this one. So now that I have that, I am going to delete my sliders, which is going to bring me down to my next equation. And again, I've got the little alert symbol, and it doesn't like all these variables in here. It needs numbers so that it can position it somewhere on this coordinate plane. So I'm going to use my sliders, and you can see here's my circle again. For the time being, I'm going to set these two equal to 0 so I can get it centered. And then when I look up at this green circle, you'll notice I had R at 0 6/10 squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set R the equivalent distance down, and when I cross the x-axis and come down on the y-axis, notice that these points are now negative. So I'm going to make my R value a negative 0 6/10. And notice that my size is about the right size. And now I'm going to come and change my